Hey, I want to talk about setting goals for yourself specifically as a writer. And now, a lot of us, the way we motivate ourselves to write is by relying on deadlines. And generally, the self imposed deadlines have very mixed results. And by mixed, I mean rarely have results. And when we work against the deadline of like a screenplay competition or a festival, those generally have a better effect, but they get us writing a lot for a short amount of time, like these sprints, and then we kind of sag as writers in terms of our writing practice. And after 3 or 4 competitions, festivals where we don't get selected for whatever, we get discouraged. And then 5 years later, we're like, oh yeah, I wanted to be a writer. So I want to talk about those writing goals that we set for ourselves without the external motivations. And the most common mistake that I see in writers setting goals for themselves is focusing on goals that are all about the result rather than goals that are about the process. So what do I mean by that? What are result-focused goals? Result-focused goals as writers are things like, this weekend I'm going to write 30 pages, or this week I'm going to write the first act of my screenplay. This month I'm going to write my first draft. Those kinds of goals, like by this time I'm going to accomplish X. And I find that those goals, they're just not effective. A much more effective way to go is to set goals that are all about you showing up. What happens when you show up? We don't know. But your goal is to show up and write. That's what I mean by showing up. So goals at work are things like, today I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to write for 10 minutes, no matter what. Phone on airplane mode for 10 minutes, I'm going to write. What happens during those 10 minutes in your writing? Who knows? You might write garbage, you might write something amazing, but you do your part in that you've shown up for 10 minutes. Or every day this week, I'm going to write for 10 minutes. Or I'm going to meet for the next month, once a week, I'm going to meet with my writing buddy who's working on their screenplay, and we're going to sit down for 2 hours together or virtually, and we're going to write for 2 hours, once a week with my buddy, 2 hours. So your goals are about when are you going to show up, how long are you going to show up for? And during that time, you're really committed. You're going to clear everything out. You're going to be free of distractions. And for that amount of time, at that time, you're going to show up to write. In my experience, the difference between a professional writer and a new writer is having the patience and the persistence in terms of what happens when you show up. Newer writers want what they write to be brilliant, and when it's not, they get discouraged and they're like, oh, I'm not even a good writer, etc. A professional writer knows that what they might arrive at might be good, might be not, doesn't really matter. They know it's all about showing up enough times. The last feature script that I wrote about 300 pages that I didn't like before I found my script. I don't usually take that long to find my script, but the last one took that long. And because I'm an experienced writer, it just didn't worry me. I just kept writing scene after scene that didn't really work. The characters didn't really come to life. I wasn't feeling things. And it didn't worry me because I knew from experience that if I just keep writing, eventually the characters will show up. Eventually the script will show up. And it did. The script I arrived at is stunning. I love that script. But I had to write 300 pages of garbage first. So again, I wasn't focused on like, by this time I'm going to have that draft or whatever. I was like, for this amount of time, on this day, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be writing. 2 more things to say about setting your goals as a writer. One is to favor the smaller goals. So yes, I love writing marathons. I love, I'm going to take this month out of my life or whatever. I'm going to write 8 hours a day, every day for whatever. But I found those very valuable. But the reason they're valuable to me is because I'm a very experienced writer. I've been writing for decades. 30 years ago, I would have squandered all that time. To set aside a goal of writing for 8 hours a day, if you haven't been writing regularly, it's kind of like going on an 8-hour run if you haven't been running. Don't do that. Start with a 10-minute run. You know, it's a muscle and you need to build it over time. So go on your 10-minute run, build up to 20 minutes, 30 minutes. When you're really experienced, you write easily every day, then those 8-hour, chunks can be useful. So make your goals so small that you really can't not meet them. Like if you decide you're just going to write for 10 minutes, it's very hard to argue that you've been too busy to do it. There are always 10 minutes. I mean, write on the freaking toilet if you have to, but there are always 10 minutes. And if you're so blocked that even 10 minutes you don't manage to do it, 3 minutes, write for 3 minutes. It doesn't matter how long you show up for. It matters that you set aside a time and that you show up at all. The rest will take care of itself. You have to show up at all. So start with the really small goals and then build over time. Okay? The last thing I want to say is that connecting with another person who also writes and doing this together, staying accountable to each other, connecting with each other. Research that I've seen written about has been stating that you're 95% more likely to meet a goal if you make an appointment with another person. Think about like going to the gym. If you decide you're going to go to the gym, sure, you might go for the first 3 days, if that. I've never managed to last for 3 days, and then you don't go. But if you make an appointment to meet your workout buddy at the gym, then you show up. So it's the same is true of writing. If you have somebody you're showing up with, you make an appointment together, that's going to make a really big difference. Okay? So keep your goals focused on when and for how long you're showing up for. That's the process. Forget about the results. That'll take care of itself. That's not your part. Your part is showing up. Keep your goals really, really small. It's impossible not to achieve them. And connect with somebody. Do this with someone. Okay, I think that's it. Speaking of someone, share this video with someone who might find it useful. Hit the subscribe thingy, notifications if you want to hear about it when I post more videos. And there's a link below this video if you want to check out my trainings that I offer. And I think that's it. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for writing. Thank you for even just thinking about writing. It takes a lot of courage. So thank you. Okay.